Recording from the Mesa Gilbert line in Arizona, here's Paulsen J. Healy.
Yes! Thank you, hairdoers, for listening to our show and adding our Hairdo Uncut to your repertoire of podcasts. Today, we're doing something a little bit different. It's not just going to be me on the show. I have my partner in crime here at Hair-Do Salon, the owner of Hair-Do, Suzanne Bell. Welcome.
Hey, guys.
We're a little bit, we've been spending a bunch of time talking about this, and we've got a really interesting topic, but I want to just briefly introduce Suzanne, have Suzanne introduce herself a little bit, and just so some people who don't know her know a little bit of her hair background.
All right. Hey, Paulsen. You all know that Paulsen is my son-in-law, so I do trump him a little bit. So I'm the owner of Hair-Do Salon, where we both work. We've had the salon for like 17 years. I have been personally doing hair behind the chair for over 30 years, and I refuse to count any higher than that.
Because you're still 21.
I'm still 21. So, Paulsen was talking to me about what
21 next month.
Yeah, next month, my birthday. So one of the best things about the career in hair, and I'm telling this to anybody out there who's thinking about entering this field, is this job. Clients come in, they're super, super, super excited to see you. They tell you how amazing you are, and then they give you money. And I can't think of a better place to work than someplace like that. We get to be creative, we get to be social, we get to be artsy and do fun things, and then we get to have huge, gigantic egos because people are always telling us how wonderful and amazing we are.
It's true.
It is true. It's the best job in the world.
Most stylist heads can't fit through the door when they come into the salon.
True that.
All right, so we're going to dive into the topic for today, and there's a specific reason why I brought Suzanne on, because I wanted a professional. Like I mentioned in the first episode of the show, Suzanne, or I do not do hair.
He doesn't. He has no hair.
I don't have hair. If any of you have been on my Instagram,
doesn't even do his own hair.
Yeah. So this is going to be a topic that tends to be a little bit controversial, and we're going to tread lightly, but still inform and entertain. I think we balanced this out during the show prep today. So. What I want to start off with is I want to start off with this. I don't know. Some of you won't remember this. Maybe many of you over maybe 20 will remember, over 25 will remember this, but there was a commercial from Skechers not too long ago of a Joe Montana, who is a professional football player, super popular, Hall of Fame kind of guy. And he was walking around saying, wearing these Skechers shoes, saying that they toned your thighs and your butt just by walking, and you would burn extra calories just by wearing the shoes. And then all of a sudden those commercials were pulled, like they were like all of a sudden they disappeared.
They disappeared fast.
Yeah. And so in this article that we're going to post inside of the description, just said that they got sued because it's completely false. And just to top that off, the chiropractor that they went on there to say, like, oh yeah, this is totally true, was married to a high up executive.
No conflict there. No conflict
at
all.
Skechers. So yeah. So, that's one example of a product just kind of overselling exactly what it is.
Yeah. A lot of products do that. We've got Snapchat, if you remember Snapchat.
Oh, when they first came out.
Yeah. Your pictures automatically disappear. They're, 10 seconds or whatever it is.
Please, that should have been the first red flag in all of our minds.
Yeah. No, you guys, Snapchat held on to those pictures. They didn't disappear like we thought they did.
Well, and Listerine back in 2005, they were saying that their mouthwash was better than flossing. And if you haven't been to a dentist, you should go and get your teeth clean, but they don't say, hey, could you Listerine your mouth? No, they tell you to floss. Mm-hmm. And they got sued for that because It just wasn't true. Like, and we all gobble that type of stuff up.
You do, and you're talking about things that, people have sued against, but there's a lot of things out there that are false truths, or not even truth, but falsified information. There's no lawsuits going on. Like people fall for it all the time. And in this day and age with social media and Instagram and Facebook, I mean, it's all over the place. And in the hair industry personally, we deal with people, hairstylists taking pictures of color, filtering it, to a color that isn't true, and then we all have to deal with clients bringing in these extremely filtered pictures that are unattainable.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
No, and then the client comes in and is like, I want that.
Yeah.
And then we can find the picture. Sometimes we can find the original picture.
Yeah.
And then say, hey, look, you see? They just over-filtered it. Mm-hmm. Like, you're not going to...
No, it's true. It's true. There's a popular salon, and they use a blogger. She's a very popular blogger. And when they post her pictures, they're highly filtered, but you can go onto her blog and see her in her natural state, and the color's different.
Yeah, very much so. So we bring up this point of products overstating their significance, and if a product is saying something, you need to be curious enough. If it's telling you something that's pretty outlandish or pretty amazing, like we have this magical thing that was invented a few years ago called Google. I don't know if anybody's tried it, but you can go on and you may not be able to Google it on their first try, but you can do some research, and we've got a few things that will be very, very interesting, I believe. But so the reason why we're tying all this together, what were you going to say?
No, nothing. I'm just go for it. Go to town.
So it's time to connect that with what we're going to talk about, which is now we're not going to pick on a specific brand, but I'm going to name it, which is Sugar Bear Hair. Those of you who don't know, it's this new product that has exploded all over Instagram. The Kardashians are paid to say how great it made their hair feel. I've even been on YouTube, watched YouTubers review them, and to a lot of their credit, they actually debunked a lot of. Like they said, I took it,
really?
and even though it was super tasty, it was just and the way I think about it is that it was just a really expensive gummy bear. That's what people are buying.
It's a vitamin for your hair, and
right.
That's what it's not the first, it's not the last. There's always somebody out there with the latest and greatest hair vitamin that's going to change your world and make your hair super long and super shiny and super healthy and. We're going to get into that.
Right. And so, you have, and if you're on Facebook, you got your friends that may be posting about products that grow their hair, and you've got the before and afters, and you see this length on their hair and stuff. It's just the main thing is that it's just not true.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
go ahead.
When I thought about all of this, I was like, I talked to you first because I was like, is this really even possible? And you're like, no, like this is, and we're gonna go over some facts here, but just to validate it, and for my own curiosity, for somebody who didn't grow up around hair, who didn't take hair classes, we emailed the Institute of Trichology. Or trichologists.
Trichology is the study of hair.
Right.
We went to the big top of the chain.
Yeah, they're out in London, and I just emailed them, and I was like, hey, I just want to know, one, because Sugar Bear Hair and any other product.
And the hair vitamins.
The hair vitamins, they all say it will strengthen your hair down to the ends. Right, it makes you believe that your hair will become more bouncy, more full, more healthy by taking them.
A lot of times they don't say it'll strengthen your hair down to the ends, but they lead you to believe it's going to strengthen your hair.
Very
down
good.
To the
Yes.
ends.
No. And the other thing is that you will increase your hair growth.
Yeah,
right?
Grow faster.
And there's so many people. I'm on a couple groups on Facebook, and they're all saying like, "Hey, how do I get my hair to grow faster? How do I?" And all these people are throwing out different products and stuff, and I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, like this is not going to go well." But anyway, so I emailed the Institute. The people who just sit there and study hair, they're not just in a salon doing hair. Like I don't even think they do that. They just study hair. This is what they wrote back. it would be impossible for any vitamins or even food consumed to re-strengthen the hairs down to its distal ends, or the very ends of your hair. Once the hair has exited the scalp, it is essentially dead and is as keratinized. Mm-hmm. The hair only receives nutrients when it is at the root.
Exactly, and that's what I told you.
Yeah, and then she even the lady who emailed me back said there's no magic pill to extend the growth phase, and she put in parentheses, wouldn't this be lovely if this was the case? But science is science, unfortunately.
Scientists have a sense of humor. Awesome. Now you talked about the growth phase and the life expectancy of the hair. People are wanting their hair to get longer. Your hair only grows a certain amount of inches a year.
Yeah, wasn't it like
half an inch, about a half an inch a month?
Okay.
It's average, and some people will be a little above that, and some people will be a little bit below. Half an inch a month is going to give you 6 inches of growth a year, which is looking, 2 years, 12 inches, 3 years, 18 inches. You guys can do the math from there.
If you want.
And your hair has a lifespan. Like your hair only lives on your head from 2 to say 7 years, and that's it. So if you only have 2 years of a lifespan of your hair, you're going to get 14 inches of hair, and that's the longest your hair is going to get. You can't get 18-inch hair if your hair only lives 2 years.
Right.
Doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible. Now if you have 7 years of growth, 7 times, I don't even know math, 7 times 6 inches is
42.
That 42-inch hair is long stinking hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, it's just so all of a sudden you're taking this product, you're thinking that it's growing your hair more. It's not.
No, but the product, the vitamins. Now, vitamins are fine to take. You can take hair vitamins. They're going to help your hair when it's down inside your scalp and it hasn't come out of your head yet, because that's the only place it's alive.
Yeah. Well, that's if you're not eating, your fruits and vegetables. If you're not a fruits and vegetables person, take a multivitamin. But
no, it's true. You can only help your hair when it's alive, and it's only alive down inside your scalp. And once it reaches out of your scalp, it is dead. Once it is dead, it cannot regenerate itself. It can't fix itself. It can't do anything to make itself better. It's dead. That's why you can cut your hair, and that's why it doesn't hurt. It's dead.
Well, if I cut my skin, it doesn't. No, it does hurt.
Your skin is
it's
alive.
Yeah.
And you get a cut on your skin, it will regenerate and fix itself.
Right.
Your hair will not.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Can't be done. So nothing that you can take internally will help anything that's already grown externally out of your head.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Well, and think about this. We were talking about this, and actually, this is something that Suzanne said that super blew my mind. In the if we're taking these hair pills, right, or these extra vitamins, why?
The body has 5 million hair follicles on it, you guys.
And
5 million.
How many was on your head?
Your face of your head has 1 million.
Okay, that was face and head.
Face and head. So if you're taking vitamins that are going to make your hair thicker and stronger and longer, you're going to have 5 million hair follicles with thicker, longer, stronger hair if it was legit.
Yeah, if it was true,
you'd be a hairy monster.
Yeah, like it's almost like this thing, like, oh, we're taking this pill and I only have hair on my head and this pill is only destined. Like, once that pill is ingested, it's not like, oh, hey, I only want to go to the head hair.
We'd be trimming our eyebrows. We'd be trimming our leg. I mean, we do trim our leg hairs.
You women would have to be shaving with men.
Yes. So it's not only, if it was possible, which it's not, to increase the length and growth of your hair, it would do all of it. All 5 million hair follicles. You'd be really, really, really hairy.
So basically, if you are taking these vitamins and your hair is not growing all over your body, you should be upset.
Yeah.
Because it's not working. So you should send a review right away and say, hey, look, I've been taking these hair pills. I want hair all over my body to grow, and it's not happening. I feel like it's a lie. Oh, wait, no, you don't want that? Oh.
It's funny when you bring that up, Paulsen, because I was reading reviews on a lot of these hair vitamins. First of all, I did a Google search for hair vitamins, and it came up with 25 pages of hair vitamins.
Yeah, well,
25 pages of hair vitamins. And where was I going with my thought?
Uh-oh.
Oh, reviews. Okay, so we were reading reviews, and there's people who were giving reviews on Amazon in particular. I bought these hair vitamins. Within days, I saw results. That's a lie. You know, it takes days for the hair to grow from the bulb state inside your scalp to get past your head. It's impossible to see any kind of results.
Well, yeah, and we've already established you can't take something, you cannot ingest something, and for those nutrients to travel through the hair shaft because
there's nothing traveling.
It's dead.
There's
it's
no
not,
blood vessels. There's nothing running or working or
it's not an extension cord.
No,
right?
no, it's dead. Now, obviously, if you take something internally where the hair is growing. Yeah, it'll help the new hair that's growing.
Right.
So, but it'll take, if your hair is 18 inches long, it's going to take you 3 years to see healthy ends on your hair.
Right. And even at that point, though, that's if you're not putting heat on it. Right. Like, I mean, you'd have to be in a
bubble.
In a bubble. Your head, you would have to wear a bubble helmet because it's like if you're a smoker. Right? All that smoke is getting all. We've had smokers come in and it totally messed with their hair. What if you're got a hormonal imbalance?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, that totally, and if you're taking medicine for that, that totally affects the hair.
We live in Arizona, so we have the sun, we have the heat. That's damaging without even doing anything, without even trying outside, and that the heat does damage. The swimming pools do damage. Brushing your hair, blow drying your hair, shampooing your hair, all those things cause damage to your hair.
Yeah.
We're a salon, so we try to recommend products that will help, minimize the effects of those.
Which is a good question. So let's get into that real fast.
Okay.
So we're debunking this, like, I can take a pill, right, to make my hair better. So why would I go to a salon, or why would I go and buy a product whether they think it's going to work or not? Because just like we said in the last episode, products at the store do not really help your hair, but we won't get into that today. Why would they go to buy a product? How is that different than us saying the vitamins don't work?
Okay, well, the products, we're not trying to get inside the hair and try to repair anything. The products are protecting. The products have sunscreen. They've got heat protection to them. They can mask symptoms. Like they're kind of like a Band-Aid. Products are Band-Aids for the hair, but they also help to solve problems. If your hair's flat, you use a volumizing product. If your hair's dry, you use a moisturizing product.
It's almost like tricking the hair to think that it's healthy.
Yeah, but it's not a permanent fix.
Right.
But it is going to make your hair be healthier or look healthier and help protect it from getting worse.
Now, okay, so I just thought about this right now. If you think about a keratin, so there's tons of salons, us included. We have a keratin treat, right? And so now, one thing I don't think we said earlier in the show was that once the hair leaves the head, it is keratinized. So then why would somebody come into a salon to get a keratin treatment? How does that actually help their hair as opposed to masking it, just other than saying, trying to think of the right question here. Why would somebody come in to get a keratin treatment if their hair is already keratinized and dead?
What's interesting is in the hair industry, we've seen a huge revolution in the last 3-4 years in the hair industry. This company called Olaplex,
right.
They created a product that has changed the way we
now
work.
Every brand's trying to copy it.
Every brand's coming up with their own version of Olaplex.
Which, side note, they can't because it's under a patent for the next 20 years. I believe we found out that patents last like 20 years, so nobody can copy it for 20 years. Go on.
Okay. But anyways, beside that, so, when we do color, when we put color on hair, when we do things permanently, permanent waves, highlights, just regular color, it actually breaks the bonds that are in your hair. Your hair has all these little bonds that hold it together and make it strong, and they get broken. They get broken through chemical services, and once they've been broken, there's nothing we could do to fix them because, again, the hair is dead.
Right.
All we could do, we could Band-Aid it. We could do a deep conditioner and leave it in for a couple weeks and it would come back out, but there was nothing that could actually fix it until Olaplex came around. Olaplex was developed by a couple of scientists, and I believe one of the scientists was actually worked in the synthetic skin department somewhere.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And so they actually have created something now that actually will reform those bonds, rebuild the bonds up and help keep the bonds from breaking as much, which is allowing us to push things a little farther.
Right.
So while it's not your hair is not regenerating itself naturally on its own, I guess, I don't know, synthetically, maybe. I'm not sure how it exactly works, but there is something now that can actually help to repair some of the permanent damage that's been done. And it literally only in the last few years that has actually been around and never been possible.
Right. Well, and that's what's awesome. So, but okay, so we've got the Olaplex, which was a great breakdown. Now, it is when people come in for a keratin treatment, is it just like masking the hair for a short amount of time, thinking like, oh, the hair has now more keratin in it, so now it's more healthy, or how does that work? So from a person walking in standpoint, why would they get a keratin treatment?
Okay, well, hair is keratin.
Right.
Your nails are keratin. Your skin is keratin. It's protein.
Right.
As your hair ages and as your hair gets damaged, you lose keratin. Okay. And keratin is what gives your hair bounce, body, shine. It's what helps. The younger you are, the more keratin you have, the more amazing your hair is. All right. As you get old, you lose all that stuff, and we all get grumbly and cranky hair.
Or it falls out like me.
So putting keratin back into your hair is great because it actually adds the bounce in the body and the shine and makes your hair feel like healthy, youthful hair.
Yeah.
And so these keratin treatments now are there are keratin treatments that are temporary that you put in as like a deep conditioner. It's a keratin treatment. It's going to go in there. It's going to be in there for a little bit and it's going to come back out. But then there is like the Olaplex treatment, which actually does physically put those bonds back together.
Well, and the Brazilian blowout, I know their brand, doesn't that have keratin in it?
That has keratin in it.
So that almost infuses the keratin in there to last a little bit longer than like a keratin treatment, right?
Yeah. The keratin stays in.
But at some point, it's just going to. Because my wife, your daughter, gets the Brazilian blowout treatment, and after about 3-6 months, it's the keratin's out at that point. Like it just kind of washes out because it's a masking. It's masking what it's already lacking, right?
Yeah. Keratin is good for the hair. Keratin is what the hair needs to be lively and healthy and happy. Not all hair proteins are good for the hair. Sometimes you can over-proteinize a hair, and that's a bad thing. Lots of times hair will only take as much protein as it can hold.
Right.
But anyways, the main purpose of this, what are we doing today? What is this podcast? is we just want you guys to be informed. We want you guys to do your research. Like, don't just believe what you read. Don't believe what the paid bloggers and the paid celebrities are told to tell you.
Yeah, because I'm seeing now, you have some bloggers that have like another, there's something, they see the Sugar Bear Hair and they've got the same type of thing, and they're telling you like, oh, hey, get this. Well, it doesn't work. They're selling expensive gummy bears. That's exactly what's happening. The Kardashians, the only reason why they're saying it's great is because they're paid to say that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. All those NBA players, they're not, all these athletes, they're not really eating at McDonald's every day.
You don't know that, Paulsen.
Oh,
you don't
I
know
guess
that,
sure.
But it's true. I mean, people want to sell products. That's what it comes down to. People want to sell products. They're going to say what they need to say, in whatever way they can say it legally to get their point across. But we just want you to know that hair is not alive and cannot take what you take internally, cannot be transferred externally into the hair. It can only grow in with the new growth.
Right. And
that's all that can
and
happen.
That's why it's important, like, because we're saying this, like, we sell products in the salon, but, the brands that we carry, Bumble and Bumble, Schwarzkopf, Paul Mitchell, like they've got a ton, and Olaplex, like they've got a ton of research into how to make the hair, but you can only do it externally. So none of their products, you're not drinking Olaplex, right? You have to put it on the outside of the hair, right? So all these companies are putting in a ton of research into actually helping people's hair because that's why they exist. It's why it's important to find correct products to make your hair do exactly what you want it to do and to be healthy.
Yeah. If you want your hair to be healthy and it's already damaged, all you can do is externally put products in it that are going to help protect it and Band-Aid it and make it look like healthy hair.
Yeah.
And good trims, lots of good trims.
Yeah. Yes. If you're getting a trim once a year, twice a year, you need to up your game a couple extra times because it grows healthier when it's cut. It grows healthier once you get a trim, right?
You need to trim off the
Sorry, she looked at me like...
I'm like, it grows
that's not true.
I had to process what you were trying to say. Cutting off the damaged ends is going to actually help your hair to grow because the unhealthy ends are going to break. So if you don't want your hair to start breaking off, then trim the ends so you can keep your hair on your head.
And the bottom line is if you've got a stylist or if your salon is pushing a product that you have to ingest to have healthy hair, they're selling you garbage, and they know better. Like the stylists learn this in school.
Yeah.
So if you have questions about how your hair needs to be, how it should feel, ask your stylist. You can always reach out to us. So, before we jump off here, you can definitely email our show. hairdouncut@gmail.com is the email. Reach out to us on Twitter. On Twitter, we are Hairdo Mesa. On Instagram, we're hair_do_salon. And we're obviously on Facebook. You can find our YouTube channel at Hair-Do Salon. And then if you want to reach out to me, I'm at Paulsen J. Healy on both Instagram and Twitter. And Suzanne is definitely on Instagram in a couple ways. She educates.
Suzanne Bell.
And hairdo education. So if you're a stylist, you want some education.
At Suzanne Bell, all one word, or at Hairdo Education, all one word.
We've got plenty of places. We'd love to hear from you. If you've had these products, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear if you have questions about if what your stylist is saying is true. Like, we're definitely here to help people know how to handle their hair and answer questions. So we'd love that. We'd love that interaction. Thanks for joining me, Suzanne.
Hey,
How was your first episode?
It was fun. Got a little tongue-tied, but it was fun.
All right. Thank you guys so much.